In the beginning, Eru Iluvatar formed the Timeless Halls, and within it created the Ainur species, beings born from different parts of his mind, making them extremely wise and powerful specialists, each excelling in a specific area of knowledge. Yet there was one who stood apart from the others, as Melkor, greatest of the Ainur, shared in all their gifts, granting him unique thoughts and abilities, leading him to grow increasingly curious, impatient, and ambitious in his desires. Knowing that Eru created a great region of space outside the Timeless Halls, Melkor journeyed into the Timeless Void, seeking the flame imperishable, the source of thought and individuality, so he could create lifeforms of his own design. Unable to find the flame imperishable, which only Eru possessed, Melkor spent a lot of time in isolation, causing his thoughts to grow ever more independent and focused on his individual ambitions. In the ages that followed, Melkor embraced the idea of rebellion, resentful towards the Creator for the limitations of his being, and so set out to push the limits of what was possible, willing to eliminate anything that got in his way. When the Ainur sang the Ainulindale in perfect harmony, music inspired by their creator, Melkor inserted his own notes with a voice so prominent, some of the other Ainur joined him, while others grew dismayed and stopped their singing. As the themes battled back and forth, Eru put an end to the war of sound with one final chord that left the Timeless Halls in silence. When it was over, Melkor was scolded, filling him with shame, but also great anger, which he hid away. After the formation of the universe, Melkor descended onto the world of Arda and immediately declared himself its master, beginning the First War when the other Ainur, now separated into Valar and Maiar, failed to recognize his authority. Going on a rampage, he destroyed and disrupted their labors, until the Ainu Tulkas the Strong descended from the Timeless Halls to join the Valar and crush their enemy. Defeated, Melkor fled from the world, but the damage was done and landmass forever marred. Unwilling to quell his ambitions, Melkor recruited Maiar to his cause, and continued to rebel throughout the ages of this world, resulting in mass devastation and the reshaping of continents. Amongst the most notable examples of his dark influence, there was the destruction of the Two Lamps during the Spring of Arda, corrupting captured elves to create the Orc race, losing to the Valar in the war for sake of the elves, escaping captivity and destroying the Two Trees of Valinor, killing King Finwë of the Noldor, stealing the Silmarils of Feanor, fighting the centuries-long War of Great Jewels, and at long last losing against the Valar in the War of Wrath at the end of the First Age, leading to the execution of his body and exile of his spirit into the Timeless Void. Throughout the years he strove for power, Morgoth grew increasingly angry, bitter, and vengeful, losing his interest in mastery over the world, to instead seek the destruction of everything in the universe. To aid him in this mission, he recruited vast legions of warriors, like his lieutenants Sauron and Gothmog, the Balrogs, orcs, trolls, dragons, wicked beasts, and even the children of Iluvatar, manipulating, enslaving, and corrupting many humans, elves, and dwarves. Of all his servants, Sauron went on to do the most damage after Morgoth's defeat, becoming the new Dark Lord throughout the Second and Third Ages, as he sought the conquest of Middle-earth through schemes and warfare. After Sauron was vanquished at the end of the Third Age, a new era of peace and prosperity fell over the world, allowing for many to flourish in the years ahead. Yet some came to believe that the threat of Morgoth was not entirely gone, and he might one day return to wage a final battle, resulting in the end of the world. Though many legends and stories spoke of such events, offering different possibilities and scenarios, the most complete depiction of the end times came from the second prophecy of the Valamandos, where he revealed an apocalyptic vision of the future. According to Mandos, many years after Morgoth's defeat, when the Valar have let their guard down, the Dark Lord will put his final plan into motion and escape the Timeless Void by passing through the Door of Night. Once returned to the universe, he would destroy the Sun and Moon, causing the hero Earendil to fly his skyship against the Dark Lord, driving him down to Valinor, where they would fight Dagor Dagorath, the final battle at the end of the world. Engaging in a cataclysmic struggle which destroyed the world, the battle culminated in a confrontation between Morgoth and Tulkas the Strong, joined by the Maya Eonwe and human Turin Turambar. In the end, it was Turin, son of Húrin, who struck the final blow with his black sword Gurthang, thus avenging his family and the entire race of men who suffered so long under the influence of Morgoth and his minions. With the Dark Lord vanquished at last, the Valar and their servants began the work of making a new world, starting with the Noldor elf Feanor recovering all 3 of the Silmarils from earth, sea, and air in order to break them and release their essence, so the Vala Yavanna might rekindle the 2 trees, bringing light back into the world. Though the second prophecy of Mandos presented the most complete version of events, other sources throughout the ages added details which might also occur, like in the beginning of the conflict, when Morgoth targeted the sun and moon for destruction. Some say he did this by creating a quarrel between Arianne, the Maya who moved the sun, and Tilion who moved the moon. Seeking to confront Arianne, Tilion followed her into the timeless void, allowing Morgoth to collapse the Door of Night and Gates of the Morning, thereby eliminating the sun, moon, and both of their protectors. As fate would have it, the Maya Eonwe was madly in love with Arianne, and grew so enraged at the Dark Lord that it was their battle which caused the most damage to the world. Though some say all the dead may have risen and taken part in the battle, others were more specific and claimed dragons would play a large part in Morgoth's army, though Túrin and his black sword would be their downfall, as he would kill Ancalagon the Black. The army of Ar-Pharazôn, last king of Númenor, may have also returned to life, escaping their prison beneath the earth to join in the final battle, though it was unknown which side they chose. Yet not all were fated to simply fight, as some say the end times will allow the dwarven race to at last fulfill their destiny as the adopted children of Ilúvatar by helping the creator build a new world after Dagor Dagorath. A special thanks to all those who contribute to Civilization X, like Tormus Woods Whisper, Lady J Book Nerd, Delacruz the Freed, and Daedry Dragon's Wit. If you'd like to help the channel, please go to patreon.com/civilizationx, where you can sign up and get early access to videos, vote on future content, and access the Patreon-only series, Heroes of Lore and Legend.